I just knew there was going to be some way for Han and Yu to stay at the tournament. What's up, y'all? It's your man, That Dude, bringing you guys another video. Giving out subscriptions down below, so go ahead and click that button. I'd appreciate it. The God of High School episode 6. In this episode, we learned that instead of having each prelim champion move on to the national tournament, the national tournament will instead have teams of 3 that come from the prelims that will operate together as a team in the national tournament. And this basically allows Han and Yu to remain important characters in the show going forward. I knew there was going to be some way for the Han and Yu to be included in the tournament or to stay important to the show, because they built up these characters. I can't say a lot because it's only 6 episodes in, and this show isn't really doing a lot of character development, but they've made these characters important to the story so far. So there had to be a way to keep these characters important going forward, and the good way to do that is to make the tournament like a team thing and make it teams of 3. And it allows Jin, Han, and Yu to be like their central group and remain our central group. So I'm not really mad at that development. I kind of saw something like this coming. Also, I think a benefit of having the teams of 3 as far as your matches in the national tournament, I think it allows for a little more strategy. Not everything's like a one-on-one match. It allows for a little more like planning and strategizing on, okay, if this is who we're fighting, maybe Jin matches up better against this person, Han matches up better against this person, or if the other team has a weapon to use, or maybe you matches up better with them. So I like that it adds a little more strategy than just, hey, there's 2 people squaring off in a ring and best man wins. This gives you a little more nuance to it, and I can appreciate that. We get a small glimpse of just how strong Jin's grandfather might be. This dude apparently just did one kick. We don't get to see the kick, we just get to see the aftermath. And apparently in this one kick, he just decimates like a bunch of people, destroys like a bunch of landscape, and just like he doesn't even care that he just massacred all these people. He just cares that he just destroyed these trees and nature. That's all he cares about. And so he really seems to be just an older version of Jin, where he just does what he wants to do. And that's how he raised Jin. Jin's motto is do what you want. And it seems that his grandfather really doesn't embody that. He just like, hey, whatever. He doesn't care about anything or anybody besides Jin. And from what it looks like, he just lives his life like he wants to. He's not really like involved in this greater scheme that's going on in between these organizations that we have yet to learn about. He's just kind of out there on his own, doing his own thing. Speaking of organizations that are out there like working behind the scenes, the story for this show is really starting to open up more. Like, we all knew at some point in time the story had to go beyond just a tournament. Like, there had to be something else. You can't carry a show for 12 episodes. Well, you probably could for 12 episodes carry a show just on a tournament. But with how fast-paced the show is moving, they couldn't carry a show just off the tournament. There had to be something else behind the scenes, or just some other motivation for the characters that had to come along eventually to keep the show intriguing. And we basically learned, well, not learned yet. We don't know exactly what these groups are, but they seem to be warring factions fighting over the powers that are bestowed upon people by gods or entities or whatever. There's so much we haven't learned yet. I haven't read the webtoon, so I don't know any spoilers or anything like that. I only know what the anime has given us so far. And so it seems that the powers are, I don't know if they're bestowed upon people by the gods, or do people go to the gods and take the power. We haven't learned that part yet, but we do know that the power at least does come from gods or entities. So I'm assuming Jin, Han, and Yu will at some point gain some of these abilities, because they're going to need them to fight in the national tournament, because a lot of people in the national tournament already have these abilities. I mentioned in a previous video that I'm not that big of a fan of introducing abilities into this show. I think I would prefer it more if everything just like stuck, generally to martial arts. But I gotta give the show some slack. A lot of popular shonen type shows in the past, most of these have some kind of supernatural abilities, and I can't really fault the show for trying to introduce some of those into it, like the story. It makes perfect sense as to why they would do it. It makes you a little more marketable. It allows you for some little more like better visuals and that kind of stuff. And so as long as they do it tastefully, I can't complain all that much. I just personally would have preferred if they had stuck just with martial arts, but it was kind of inevitable that they were going to introduce some kind of power structure and supernatural powers eventually. Just given the nature of what this show is and what it's aspiring to be, that was just bound to happen. Whoever the Nox are, like whatever their goals are, the Nox mean business. We see that, I think, just in this episode, they killed the announcer guy. That guy is seemingly dead. Look, he was in a body bag, so I'm guessing the dude is dead. Which is kind of sad after they just introduced him as an actual character. Like we see he has a wife and he has a kid. He's all around kind of a nice guy. And then Knight's gone, you know. We'll introduce his nice character and let you see how nice he is, that he has a family. You know, just kill him off, you know, just dead now. But yeah, the Nox, whoever the Nox are, they have apparently come with an agenda and they're just taking people out. This episode a bit less action-packed than episodes we've gotten the past few weeks, but still all around a decent episode. This show hasn't given us a bad episode yet, and I think it'll maintain this streak. Just given how action-packed some of the episodes tend to be, you know, this will be an exception. But even then, in this episode, we still get some action here and there. So it's not as if nothing happened. But just given the pacing of this show and how good the action is when it's there, I don't think we'll get a bad episode in this show for this season. So I can't really think of anything else of important that happened in this episode that's like worth mentioning. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, hit the subscribe button. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.